no matter who's watching, no matter what's going on, no matter who's in a room, no matter if there's a celebrity, no matter if there's a person that is a homeless person coming from the street that just walked through the door. They have no idea what it is. They just wanted food, but they came here for a moment. And I get to lead them in that moment right now. And I'm going to take that and I'm not going to take it lightly whatsoever. And if I get an opportunity to speak to them, I'm never too big to help them.
What's up, y'all? D Foss back with another LT360 podcast. I'm here with my boy Alfredo.
Yes, sir.
Live in person in the mix.
We are finally doing this right now.
Finally getting it done.
Wow. Sorry, guys, for all the things that are going to come out of my mouth right now. I'm just apologizing.
He's going to throw up all over the podcast.
Yeah.
And we're going to clean it up after. It's all good.
Let's do it.
So, Alfredo and I met in November?
Yeah.
It's been like 8
now that
months.
you're saying it like that,
it's only been like 8
months. No, not
months.
in November. Before that. October.
It was October.
Yeah.
I act like it was so far different. October.
Yeah, like Halloween, we did the whole Halloween thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. What am I thinking?
I don't know what November you're talking about.
So it was maybe even like August.
August.
It was probably even August.
Probably, yeah.
When did you start working at G&O?
I started, damn, bro. Time just moves fast. Let's just say that. We are trying to figure out how quickly we've gotten to this point, but that's great. We've been having fun through it all, yeah.
So it was around, September maybe?
Yeah, around that time is when I started getting into the certification, and that's when I kind of like said, hey, I possibly want to start working here. So maybe around like that August timeframe, September timeframe, and then October is when it was like official.
That makes sense. Yeah. All right. So me and Alfredo, if you didn't catch it already, we worked together at G&O. And he also now spends a lot of time here because he dates Haley.
What? My sister. I don't think I didn't even know that. So maybe just finding this out right now.
Hey. Yeah. Nothing to hide here. Alfredo, where are you from?
Originally, I was born in Canada, Montreal, Canada to be exact. Montreal. I do not speak French whatsoever anymore. That's like the only French-speaking part of Canada, and I know zero French. But that was because I left when I was 6 years old. Parents divorced really early, and so it resulted in my mom and I moving to Orlando, Florida, which is where I spent a decade of my early childhood. And then now I reside in Boca Raton, Florida. Woo, woo, you know what I'm saying? Boca, you know, the hood out there, you know what I'm saying?
Boca's
west side, the west side of Boca. If you don't know the west side of Boca, exactly, it's the hood. So I've spent another decade pretty much in Boca as well too. So I'm a Florida boy at this point, but heart and soul originally from Canada.
Crazy. What do you remember most about Canada?
Every time someone asks me that, the first visual thought is
gotta be snow.
It's snow. It's like I remember my mom made me go to the bus stop by myself one day when I was like 5. And this was like my first time going there by myself. It was snowing so hard. And I just remember like walking in the snow so cold, thinking I'm just never going to make it home. There's no way someone's going to find me.
I know how that feels.
And so like I will always keep that embedded in my head. But like the snow itself was probably one of the main reasons why I'm glad I no longer live in Canada. And so, but honestly, it was just, I remember like the people being so nice. Like, we've had neighbors taking care of me when I was a kid that just randomly knew my parents at the time, or just randomly knew my mom at the time, just because they were just so friendly and so nice and wanted to help while my mom was single at the time. And just the overall culture is just, it's
really friendly.
It's really friendly, like 100%.
When I went to Toronto, that was like the biggest thing I noticed. Everyone, I mean, the diversity was absurd. But then also,
100%.
Yeah, the just the genuine like kind feeling you got from having conversation with people was definitely different than what you would experience going to, maybe LA or
I mean, shoot, even out here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. typically just kind of anywhere.
Right.
It's weird.
Anywhere. Canada's the best place ever. You guys have not gotten the gist of that comment. Canada's the best place. Boom. I said it.
The snow.
Minus the snow. Exactly.
So is it really the best place? But there's a reason you're staying in Florida.
That's true. That is true. The sunny vibes have definitely kept me here. Yeah. So yeah, that's true.
So when you moved to Orlando, you didn't move down to Boca till you were what, 16?
So I was 16, but it's funny because I didn't. So between the point where my parents got divorced, I didn't know my dad until anywhere between like 9 to 10 years old. Like he left really early in my life. I said 3 years old to be exact. I didn't really meet him again till I was like 9, 10, 11. And he was already in Boca. And so one day my mom thought it would be funny to just say, hey, you're going to go visit your cousin down in, Fort Lauderdale, blah, 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 which I have a lot of family down here. And then it just ended up being me meeting my dad again.
Whoa.
And I had no idea until he walked through the door. And I remember his face so clearly, even at a very young age when he left. And that's how I met my dad again. And from there, thinking I was visiting my grandma, my cousins, my aunts, I was actually visiting my dad for the summer. And from that summer on, I've came to Boca every summer since then. So me transitioning to Boca wasn't a huge shift in my life. I came every summer since I was not like 10, 11 years old.
So you had already been doing that for like 6, 7 years.
Same neighborhood, same house.
Damn.
So my step siblings that I have now, it's like we're tight because we've grew up together literally since we're younger kids. And so, yeah, Boca has been a part of my life for a very long time.
Damn.
Yeah.
Learning something new like y'all are.
Yeah.
You mean you don't have to answer. What inspired the whole go meet your dad again? And like, how did that even come about? Like, that's such a crazy, like, throw at somebody kind of thing.
I mean, like I said, I wasn't the one who chose that life. That specific event was all in my mom's and my dad's doing. Yeah. I literally had no idea that I was coming to meet my dad for that time frame. So I literally thought I was coming in just to visit different family members.
So now let me ask you this. You're like 1 week into be like, hey, Dad.
Like literally my first day in South Florida at that time, it like a couple hours later, my dad came through the door. Like it was even like I didn't spend much time in South Florida yet. Like it was just like, okay, cool, family's here, da da da. Haven't seen you guys in a while. Someone walks through the door. I'm like, what the heck? Like, who are you? And why are you here? And what the heck is going on? So it was a very weird encounter. Very weird encounter, man. I didn't have the best relationship, obviously, with my dad. He was in my life, throughout my childhood. I mean, he was in my life pretty much throughout the whole time. Just on the back end where I had no idea. Yeah. I guess at some point, him and my mom made an agreement to say, "Hey, listen, let's create something to where I can actually see him as well too." And so my mom didn't ask me anything. My dad didn't communicate this with me.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you probably wouldn't have been very open to that.
Probably not. Yeah. I was honestly angry when I first saw him.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Was that your first instinct?
Yeah, my first instinct at the time was
anger.
Why are you here? And I remember very clearly, like, giving him that look, like, what the hell are you doing here? Can I cuss on this thing?
Yeah, no? Of course.
Okay. What the f- you doing here? And he kind of gave me that look as if he was shocked that I gave him that response. But honestly, it was just more out of, you have not been in my life for a very long time. What makes you think you can be in my life in this exact moment?
Yeah.
And so all of those emotions started to sprout up. And but you know what? It was the beginning of a huge shift in my life that I didn't think would happen at the time. Obviously, I was a young kid, but honestly, that I'm glad. Yeah, I'm very glad that happened, because now I do live in Boca. Now I do live with my dad right now, and he has been a huge pivotal person in my life right now. And so, and both of my mom and my dad have been huge people in my life. So I'm glad I was able to have that reality check in that moment in time and able to have that relationship with that again. So
That's crazy, man. I didn't know any of that. That's wild.
Yeah. He didn't realize he was gonna learn all these things,
which is
he
good.
said
That's
life stories. So here I am. Here
I everybody's got a story.
That's true,
and that's why, I wanted you on here. I mean, without even knowing that, your story is pretty crazy. Just understanding, moving from Montreal to Orlando to here, understanding what you liked as a kid and how that drove you, and you drove out of that lane, and now you're in this lane, and now you're a fit pro. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Let's keep diving in. So,
let's do it.
It's
getting fun.
Yeah. So, when did sports become like pivotal in your life? Was it always a thing?
Like pivotal, like I actually took it serious?
No, just like when did you really start to enjoy sports and like play on teams and like things like for me, I started when I was 4.
For me, I started picking up the basketball, which was like my first love. Back in Orlando, I was around, let's say, 10 to 11. It was like my first year of middle school. I was in 6th grade. I remember I sucked, but I really loved it. I tried it for the 6th grade team, didn't make it. Like, I just remember like going to the tryouts at like 7:30 in the morning and not making it. Like, it was just like, how the sheets up in the locker room, like just, is my name maybe? Nope, didn't make it.
That happened to me 6th grade baseball.
Yeah. So that was my first heartbreak in life. I'm sure I have plenty more. But that was definitely like, damn. But I just kept going, man. I kept going till, I don't think I made the basketball team till I was in 11th grade. 11th grade is when I first like made an actual team. So I tried out 6th grade, 7th grade. I didn't try 8th grade year because I just got tired of trying out. But then I was like, all right, cool, let's do a 9th grade year. So 9th grade year, tried out. 10th grade didn't have the grades for it. And then 11th grade, I moved to Boca. And 11th grade at Spanish River High School, I made the team for the first time ever.
Yeah.
And so that was an interesting case for me.
So that was probably very helpful because I was going to ask the transition from Orlando High School to Boca High School. That had to be like, damn, I'm right in the middle of high school and I'm out here moving to a totally different place.
That was one of the reasons, that specific reason alone, me playing sports, was the only reason why I did not want to move to Boca. Because I worked so hard my sophomore year of high school to get my grades back up to make the actual team the 11th grade year. Mind you, I was still part of the team. I volunteered to be the water boy my sophomore year. And so, or the team manager, or whatever you want to call it. And I was at the practices. I was involved with the team. The team knew me. The coaches knew me. They knew the skills that I had, which would have been valuable to them the following year. But then I had to break it to them that I had to move to Boca. And so
you were like,
I was like, yo,
finally gonna get your chance.
Right, finally get my chance, finally gonna make an actual team. And then now I gotta go meet new people, meet a new coach, meet a new system that does not know me. How can I bring value to them and their team? And I was scared as crap coming into Boca because Spanish River High School team at the time had a pretty cool squad that, they everyone was literally my age. Like the starting 5 were all in my grade. There was like maybe 2 seniors that graduated at the time. And we had like maybe 1 senior my junior year. And it was just like I'm going against like the whole But honestly, it still turned out to be my growth spurt actually happened my junior year. So I came from like 5'9" somewhere into like 6 foot. And I was like, oh, I'm tall now. Let's go. And so it was a funny experience at the time, but it still worked out. Worked out pretty well for me to make the team my 11th grade year. So
what about football?
Football, I've played football was actually like one of the first sports I played. Like I've always played football like in the backyard, like in the neighborhood that I was raised in Orlando, like just backyard football, throwing it around and all of that before I even picked up basketball. But I was always afraid to play actual football. Like I did not want to get hit. I did not want to put on the pad. Like that was just not my thing. But I can definitely say my senior of high school, first of all, our football team at the time sucked. If anybody's watching this that knows Spanish River High School, we are not known for football. We sucked. I think we won like maybe 1 or 2 games in the past like decade at the time. And yeah, and my best friend Reggie and I both played basketball, and I remember that the coach was starting to recruit some people from different teams, and definitely recruited some people from the basketball team. And me and Reggie agreed, like, let's just do it together. Let's go for it. And we tried for the football team our senior year, saying, yo, let's go for it. And it's probably been one of the best experiences of my life. Shout out to Reggie, because he went to D1 football for that. Got a scholarship, went to Wisconsin.
Damn. He's a Badger.
Yeah,
he graduated.
He graduated, got his master's and all. So that choice made him, definitely opened the path for him. But for me, that just opened up a new realm of like what I could do and facing my fears, and just and I'm able to say, hey, like, I actually play high school football. I know that experience. It's a cool experience.
Yeah, you never can get rid of the friends you make playing football.
Exactly.
It doesn't care. It doesn't matter if you try. It doesn't matter,
no,
bro. It's brotherhood for life.
I see, like, I'll go to random places now, and I'm like, yo, we played football together. Like, we did that together. And so it's definitely a brotherhood that will never break. So
crazy.
Fun times, man. Definitely fun times.
I love football. So I played freshman year, and then I got real dedicated to basketball, and I didn't play until my senior year again. So I also I played baseball for my middle school team, 7th grade, 8th grade year. I got hurt at the end of basketball season, my 9th grade year. I broke my foot.
Oof. Okay. I'm really telling you something about that.
Yeah, so I broke my foot, and I didn't play baseball as a result. I played baseball since I was 4 years old. I was very, very good at baseball. And so I identified a lot with that. And then I got to high school, and I didn't play my 9th grade year. And then I ended up getting into basketball. Like, my growth spurt was between freshman and sophomore year. So freshman year, I was 5 feet tall. I played football, 5 feet tall, 105 pounds. I played basketball. I played basketball, 5 feet tall, 105 pounds. And I ended up, as a freshman, getting like a chance to kind of swing and play JV and varsity after my freshman season was over. So I got like really into it. And then it ended up turning out that, I hurt my foot, didn't play baseball my freshman year because that was after basketball season. And then I got super involved in basketball my sophomore year, and I was like, I just want to work on this. I don't want to go play baseball after this. So I stopped kind of getting into baseball. I really just kind of threw it by the wayside. And I decided not to play football, even though I hit that growth spurt, because I was like, I'm going to focus. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to play basketball. And then my senior year, I have so many friends on the football team. I'm like, fuck it, I'm playing.
Just play.
Yeah.
It's your senior year. You're like, yo, why not, bro?
So I was all about it. And it helped me in like conditioning for basketball. So when like football practice was going on, I wasn't like a staple on the team by any means. I was a smart player with sports. That was always kind of my IQ is what got me there. I worked hard. So I would play scout, punt returner, kick return, or wide out or running back, whatever they needed me to do. I knew the plays. So if they wanted to put me somewhere and play scout, because we had a bunch of all-staters, I was like, all right, I'm not going to beat them out, especially at wide receiver. I was slow. So long story short, like during practice, if I was on the sideline, I was running hills in my football gear to get ready for basketball. And they'd be like, bro, stop, bro. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm getting ready for basketball.
This is the work ethic that guy has, man.
So that was
freaking work.
But that was my thought process the whole time, was I want to play to have fun, and to get ready for basketball.
Wow.
Going into senior season.
Wow. I've never heard anybody say that before. Like, I mean, like not a lot of people can say like, oh yeah, I went through a football season and then had to go play basketball. But like, just the fact that someone's like, yeah, I'm playing a sport, but I'm really preparing for the sport that I really love and know that I want to pursue the most.
But it was I mean, nothing better than Friday nights, right? You wear your jersey to school.
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
Yeah,
Get the cupcakes by the cheerleaders.
Yes.
I kid you not, side note, to this day, I don't remember this girl's name, bro, but she used to, maybe she's out there watching. Who knows? Dog, she brought me the best cookies. Like, best cookies. And the crazy part is, like, right after football season, basketball season came, I requested her to be my cheerleader again. Dude, she just brought, like, these cookies that would have, like, chocolate fudge on the inside. So anybody that ever asked me, like, how would you like your cookie? Just make it with chocolate fudge on the inside. Like, some way, somehow, that has my heart. Like, I just don't know. So if you guys know me, you want to give me a crazy birthday gift real soon.
Maybe she's out there still making them.
I hope she's famous because of that.
Because of
I think her name was like Meredith or something like that. I don't know. I don't even have her on Facebook. I tried. I tried to contact
Meredith's cookie.
Meredith's
miraculous cookies.
Google it. Help me. Let me know that's out there. I would like to thank her.
That's funny. Yeah, bro. Like the cupcakes, the little parties.
Yeah, bro.
The pep rallies.
Ah,
yeah.
Dude. And then coming from like football season right into basketball season, like your whole fall and winter season is just like sports. Literally, so by the time you're in your senior year and it's like spring, like you're done. Like school's over. Like my mindset after basketball season was over was like, I'm graduating. Like, what more do I need to do?
So the crazy thing is I finished basketball or mid basketball season. Mm-hmm. My other friends are getting ready to play baseball. So this year is a pivotal shift in coaching or in our high school, mm-hmm. and our football coach is taking over the baseball team. So my best friend's the catcher. My other best friend, a year younger, is he's a pitcher and a first baseman, right? My other childhood friend, like we were really close, he's in the outfield, right? So mind you, after basketball practice, they were doing inside baseball practices because it's cold as hell up there in March when you're getting ready to start baseball. So after basketball, I'm messing around and I'm throwing to my best friend who's the catcher. And I start pitching and the coach walks in. He's like, "You didn't tell me you could throw like that." I'm like, "Well, I haven't thrown like that in a couple of years." And he's like, "Well, it doesn't look like it based on what you're doing." So he's like, "I'm not giving you a choice. You're coming to play." Okay. I wanted to play lacrosse. It was the first year that they had lacrosse at our school.
Oh, that's dope. Okay.
And I played hockey when I was really young, ice hockey. Before I played basketball, I played organized ice hockey. So, yeah, I loved hockey.
Go Predators.
Go Preds. Nashville Preds.
Nashville Preds. That's my investment team. They don't even know nothing about
that. They don't need to know. And so what was crazy was that I wanted to play lacrosse. It was the first year we were ever going to have lacrosse as a school. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, I want to play. But all my friends were playing baseball. Coach wanted me to play baseball. Mm-hmm. I knew baseball. I loved baseball. Mm-hmm. But it had been years since I had played. And I was like, well, I suck at hitting at this point. I haven't tried to hit since someone threw like 70 miles per hour. Now I'm going to face kids that throw like 85 to 90. Right. Not going to be very good. Right. So I end up just joining the team to be a pitcher.
Okay.
And I mean, you could put me in the field and I'd be able to play anywhere, but we had a good team. So I wasn't necessarily like needed. At a couple games I played like first base, I played second base. I pinch hit like a couple times. I would run bases sometimes. But I ended up playing baseball. So I went through senior year, literally every day was a sport.
I was going to say, like, it sounded like you were nonstop your senior year.
Every day was a sport.
Wow.
From 3 weeks, 4 weeks before school even started with football, mm-hmm. all the way through literally the last week of school. Damn. Every day was a sport.
Damn.
The one thing I got that I never even thought about the whole time was I ended up getting in the yearbook, you know how they have like the little, you know how they have like most likely to do this. Most likely
the
to do that.
superlatives or something like that. Superlatives. There we go.
There you go. Good word. I can think of it. Superlatives. I got most athletic because
you played every freaking sport.
Just because I played everything.
He was in the cooking class. Like he just did it all. I was in the like class. He could cook. Like he does it now.
Definitely not in the cooking class. But I wasn't the most athletic person. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like I'm not I'm not like this crazy, genetic freak.
Right.
I loved playing
sports.
Yeah,
you're just active. But you still are to this day.
Yeah, bro. I was thinking about that earlier. I was like, damn, I just want to be outside.
Exactly.
I just want to run around. So, yeah, man, it's crazy what sports can do for you, and just changing your mindset and getting you open to new things, and the people you can meet and the relationships you can have
100%.
For life is wild.
Some of my bestest friends now are the people that I play sports with. Like I can name them out.
Mm-hmm.
Jorge and Taco, Dante and Reggie. Those are the four main people that I play basketball with. Those are the four main people that if I was to see in the street, we would talk for hours. And even if I never seen them for years, it's like we clicked back up, man. And so we and we'll always joke around about like how we died together. Like we will always talk about certain moments of like, I remember I vomited here. I remember when coach yelled at me there. Like even just talking like to Dumas, like he will make like insider jokes, and Dumas is just another basketball player I played with. He'll make insider jokes to me on the court, and I'm like, oh wow, I remember that because of you. I got kicked out of the practice, but you just form this bond, man, that will, like I said, it can't be shaken, it can't be broken, no matter what, man. So that's one of the things I love about sports that I don't know if you can get anywhere, honestly.
I think there's two things that happen as a result of sports. One is pain and suffering.
Yeah.
Like experiential pain and suffering. Not always bad, actually. It's not just pain and suffering, but glory as well, right?
Right.
You experience winning, you experience losing, and you're experiencing the preparation for both.
Right.
And then the other one is teamwork. So like me and you can experience the same thing, but not necessarily work together, right? But the idea of teamwork, and obviously just because we're running sprints together doesn't mean we're good teammates, but actually establishing that bond and that teamwork and working together, I think that's another thing that makes team sports, that relationship, that bond is like it's
tight.
Yeah.
It's life.
It's tight.
It's life. 100%.
It's crazy. So
we're still doing this. I'm surprised I didn't say anything crazy just now. Like,
so
we still got water. We're doing good, guys. We are doing good.
So the whole transition from sports to in high school.
Yeah.
You left high school. What was your next thing? What happened? Did you work while you were in high school?
No, I did not work. My dad didn't let me.
Your dad didn't let you work?
Not let me work, man. He didn't even let me go to the movies by myself. Like, this guy was crazy. Never forget. I'm like, Dad, can I go to the movies? He's like, going with your sister, your brother. That's it. I'm like, what? Like, talk about couldn't get a date in high school. Like, there's no way. Like, they didn't even have a car. So after high school was when I got my first job. And it was honestly it was referred to me by my English teacher at the time, whose husband was a lawyer.
Okay.
And so I needed a summertime job, and so I just became one of the receptionists at the time. And so I enrolled at a college here called Palm Beach State College. Like everyone else who ever goes to college for the first year, not really knowing what they want to do, but parents told me I had to go, so I went. And but yeah, I had a job at the time in the summer, and then enrolled into school. And honestly, I think those first 2 years out of high school I don't know what the hell I was doing.
Toughest.
Even just thinking about it now, like it was one of the toughest times, just because the amount of pressure at the time that I was getting from my parents was pressure that I just couldn't understand. Right? Like you're no longer a kid. You're no longer at a point where it's like everything is fed to you. And it's becoming a point now to I gotta make my own, I have to make my own money. I have to put gas in my own car. I have to pay my own bills. And for me, that was my reality. I had to do those things by myself, and I wasn't in a place from an academic standpoint of my father specifically to his liking. I was failing classes, and he was the one paying for school for me. And so to tell him, hey, I failed this class or I had to drop this class was honestly, it was hard. It was so freaking hard. But at the time, I didn't even care either. Like I was still out partying. I was still out doing my own thing. I was trying to find myself, trying to find the right people to be around. But definitely wasn't around the right people. But it was probably one of the toughest years, going into life outside of high school, for sure. For sure. I ended up dropping out after 2 years, honestly, because I was like, you know what? I have to take care of myself. And so after 2 years after college, I ended up getting a job that can pay, decently enough to where I can support myself. Started working full time because I figured if I worked full time, I could do my own thing or, figure life out at that point. But it was definitely still that pressure of, why aren't you in school now? Why did you drop out? What are you going to do with your life? Da, 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 da. And side note, as much as I'm from Canada, my background is Haitian. So the Haitian culture is what I reside by. And it's the parents in any Caribbean home, really, but I can only talk for the Haitians out there. They don't play. If you don't go to college, you are a low life. You're this, you're that, in every worst possible way. Like if you're not trying to be a doctor or a lawyer, it's like, what are you doing with your life? It's truly those things. And I couldn't look my dad in the eye and tell him every time, like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not trying to pursue what you think is right for me at the time. And so, and that's a whole different ballgame, talking about like my dynamic with my dad, not having him in my life for such a long time, me being in the household now where he lives, and now me kind of, it's only been 2 years, right? Because junior and my senior year, and now the next 2-3 years, or the next 3 to 4 years after that, I'm like, all right, Dad, I'm doing my own thing. Like now I'm going to go pursue my own life. So the dynamic of him trying to catch up of who are you, what are we going to do, to, oh God, like he's an adult, he's trying to do his own thing, and him trying to tell me what to do, and me not realizing like, oh, he's my dad, like forget it, you never really been in my life like that for you to tell me what to do. Our dynamic was just all over the place, but I was the type of person at the time that did not want to disappoint. And so to live with that pressure was tough, because I wanted to do what was right for me and make myself happy, but I didn't want to disappoint my parents. But I didn't know how to do both at the same time.
True.
So it was tough. So from an emotional standpoint, I didn't know what to do.
Crazy.
That was a lot just now. That was like...
No, but it makes sense. I mean, based on what you said initially and how you moved to Boca, and it was a weird split high school in half.
Yeah.
And your dad didn't really allow you to do things by yourself, and then all of a sudden you graduated and he's like, do everything by yourself.
Right.
It's kind of...
It's...
But once again, he was just trying to do the best job he could. Like he... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
of course. Like
that's... Yeah.
And
it's tough. It
was, like I said, it was a very tough dynamic.
I couldn't be in charge of a human right now. Like I could figure it out, but it wouldn't be optimal.
It wouldn't be optimal. It would not be optimal.
So like when
they would definitely be playing baseball, that's for sure.
Yeah. when parents fuck up, it's not necessarily like it's hard to blame them. Like
very much.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's...
No one gave them a manual book that said, here you go. This is how you raise a child.
Your car comes with a manual. You got to pass a test to drive your car.
Right.
They don't tell you how to have sex.
Nope.
They don't
tell you how to raise kids.
Kids.
They don't even tell you how to live life. And maybe they do try to tell you, but it ain't.
Maybe we're trying to tell you.
Maybe we're trying to tell you right now. We got the answers.
Nah, it's crazy. So that was a big transition for you, and
Huge.
School didn't turn out.
No.
What were you even pursuing? What like class were you just taking like regular?
I was taking my regular classes, but I was taking business.
Okay.
Like I mean I knew like I wanted to be in the business realm. But like I said, I was failing classes. I was taking classes I didn't even know why I was even taking them, just because the counselor said, "Hey, you should do this." And
that's the thing.
What that has to do with me and whatever.
Getting your 2 or even your 4-year degree now is high school.
It is.
That's what it is. It's curriculum. You got to take these bullshit classes for the first couple of years, and then finally you can do something that you want to choose to do.
Right.
It's like,
wow, all that money spent to not know what
crazy.
To do.
So you bounced. I spent 5 years in private school. You went to state college.
State college.
So the tuition was much lower.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God. If I went to regular college, like a university or out of state college, probably would have passed my classes because I probably wouldn't be alive if I failed. Knowing the amount of money spent on me, right? Yeah. So I had a little bit of leniency in terms of like, this ain't that much money. I really don't care. Like, but yeah, dude, it was.
So you don't have any. Do you have any student loans?
No student loans. No student loans. Because I did end up going back to college again, after a couple of years, but it was ministry school. So
explain that to me. I obviously didn't. I don't have a background in any sort of religion.
Yeah, man. So at some point in my early 20s, I wanted to go to ministry school.
So how did that come about, though? Like, you everything you just explained to someone would not lead them to believe that you randomly just wanted to go to ministry school.
No, man. So I ended up finding a church down in Miami that my sister brought me to when I was maybe 9.
You were always going to church?
I was raised in the church. Like, that's my background. But the decision to go to church on my own was around when I was like 19, 20. And so that's what ended up happening at the time. And I started to meet people that started to encourage me to sing in church. And so I did that. And so I sang for maybe the first 2 years of the church. And I liked it so much, and I believed in my gifting so much that I was like, you know what, I want to take this to the next level. And I want to be able to pastor people through my worship, through my singing, and also help a local church through my gifting in that. So I pursued ministry. And
what does that look like? How is that
Woof.
Is that like a 2-year?
That was
like 6 months?
So at the time I was at the church I was at. We were an extension site to a university called Southeastern University, which was in Lakeland, which was just like a university, like a normal university. Okay. You get your 4-year degree, you get your 2-year degree, it doesn't matter, but you just have ministry as your bachelor's of arts. And so for me, trying to transfer some of my credits, I think from Palm Beach State, I think I had like maybe 3 years left or something like that. So I was going for my 4-year bachelor's, but in ministry degree. But somewhere along the way, things still got tough. And I had to drop out of that too.
Things always do.
Things always get tough, man. So yeah, man, it really started off with me wanting to sing and having the gifting of singing. And I've sang for, maybe like 6 years total, 7 years total, leading people into worship on the stage. That part of my life has honestly transformed me to a completely different person, man. Lessons that I've learned that has shaped me to the person that I am today. Definitely in great ways, and definitely in hurtful and resentful ways as well too, man. So I definitely have my experience in that realm as well.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And do you regret not getting a degree?
Not at all.
Cool.
I say that with full confidence, not one
like
bit.
that.
And I love telling my parents, I didn't go to college, but guess who's going to open up a business one day? You know what I'm saying? Me, without one. And I want to be able to honestly tell my children that one day and say, listen, if you want to go to college, you can go to college. But if you don't want to go to college, I support that as well. And so I'm that believer that you can truly be whoever you want to be. You can truly succeed in this world with a degree or without a degree. So it's definitely up to you when it comes to that and the path that you choose.
No, I like that. I'm like the weird person that went to school.
Yeah, I was about to say, you definitely went to school, sir.
I went to school for 5 years, and I'm out here telling people, like, yo, you don't have to.
But that's cool, though, because you got the experience of what school is, knowing, like, all right, like, this is cool, this is great, I
wouldn't change it. Everything I went through, I wouldn't change it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But you also know, like, there's people out there, it's like, you have to get a degree to make it in life.
Crazy.
It's like, nah, I don't think you do. I think we have plenty of examples in this world of different people who are successful that, we listen to all the time, that we can say, they don't even have a degree. Yeah. They dropped out. They did this. But, like I said, your work ethic is crazy.
Thank you.
And I'm sure those people who don't have a degree right now that are making it or successful, their work ethic is crazy as well, too. Because that they didn't go to school. They had to really show up every day.
Yeah.
Right.
Talent isn't everything, You gotta work. The thing that, like, the thing that always stuck out with you, or with me to you, with you to me.
I am you.
I am you.
I am you. Me? Bro, this has been an ongoing joke for a while. Of course it pops up in the podcast.
Of course it did. Shout out Rush Hour. Fun ass movie. The thing that always stuck out was, like, your energy, bro. Like, it's just yeah.
Mike, I can see that, right?
He's like always got this, like, when he walks in the room. I don't know. Like, walking in the room, but not in an arrogant way, which is hard to balance. That's a hard thing to do. So I respect you for that, because that's
Thank
like
you. I hit home right there.
It's
that really does.
Hard to explain when you can feel somebody's presence without it feel like it's like shrinking yours.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You definitely bring that. Where do you think you got that? What do you think that is? Do you have any self-reflection on that?
I do. I want to say my experience in the church brought that out of me. I had a great mentor. His name was Joel Marcellus. That was one of the first people that I met that, honestly, he damn near raised me as a young adult. The church at the time was really big and popular. We had thousands of people every week coming to a service. So you're asking a 19, 20, 21-year-old kid to lead young adults that are my age and a little bit older in worship, and they see you every week, and off stage, you have to be humble as hell. And I always want to reflect that this stage is not going to define me. Never in my life. And Joel was a perfect person to look at when it came to that. He was very humble. He was maybe 10 years, I think he's 10 years older than me right now. And I looked up to him. Like, I remember watching him sing. I'm like, oh, this is the guy. And then, like, when I met him in person, I was like, yo, this dude is humble. Like, what the you're the guy that's, like, you.
Can I have a signature?
You know what I'm saying? Like, can I autograph? And he was just so freaking humble, dude. And he just taught me that. And for years from that point on, I just learned to be humble, no matter what spotlight was on me. The energy honestly came from that point in my life as well too. I was always an energetic person. I was always outgoing. I was always friendly. I was always that type, that shout out to my mom. She definitely, she's the same exact person as me when it comes to that. But
which helped you a lot in your moving, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Making friends was not an
issue for you?
Not at all. So yeah, man, I just think being humble is probably one of the biggest things that I take value in. I don't. You're and one of the thing that will always stick with me, man. You are. Damn, I'm gonna be mad if I don't remember this. You are never too. You are never too big to lead, or you're never too big to. You're never too small to lead, or you're never too big to follow. Something in that realm, to where it's like.
I think it was that last one.
Yeah.
You're never too small to lead. You're never too big to follow.
Exactly, and that has put me in a position of saying, okay, cool. No matter if I'm a follower, no matter if I'm a leader today, I'm going to always be me. No matter who's watching, no matter what's going on, no matter who's in a room, no matter if there's a celebrity, no matter if there's a person that is a homeless person coming from the street that just walked through the door. They have no idea what it is. They just wanted food, but they came here for a moment. And I get to lead them in that moment right now. And I'm going to take that, and I'm not going to take it lightly whatsoever. And if I get an opportunity to speak to them, I'm never too big to help them. Or if there's a person that is big, I'm never too small to help them. And so for me, it just kept me in my place of just being grounded, no matter who I'm encountering with, no matter where I'm walking into. We're all equal. We're all the same. And so I can bring value to you. You can bring value to me. That's how I see it, no matter what.
I like that. Yeah. I always said every person I meet is an opportunity to teach or to learn from.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
100%.
Crazy. Where does worship and religion and church, where does that fall in your life now? How does that?
Now it's not the same as it used to be before. It was a huge priority to me at the time, where I was going to church 4 to 5 times a week because of ministry school at the time. But now I took a different route. Now I don't even go to church at all. But my relationship with God is something that I still hold dearly. I have moments where I pray throughout the day, I journal. From a religious standpoint, the religious practices that I kept as I was younger is something that I don't keep now. So like, I'm not heavily in reading my Bible every day. I'm not, listening to different sermons every day. And I think that's one of the things that when I left the church, I was very afraid of, because I felt like, oh man, like I was this person that was on stage. I was the one leading worship all the time, I'm barely at church. I'm barely like singing anymore. I'm barely this. I had a tough time grasping that part of me, because that was my identity. And now I no longer was that person. So who am I?
Who do you identify with? What do you identify
exactly with? And so it honestly, it wasn't until maybe a couple of years ago, or maybe just this year alone, that I started feeling comfortable with myself about that part of me. That, okay, like this is, that was who that
doesn't make you any less of a person.
Right.
Yeah.
But for me, I took it hard on myself because of the pressure I was getting. Again, like that, I think that was one part of my life where I felt like I made my parents proud. And I really felt like at that time, like my parents saw me as like, wow, like he's doing something that we are pleased with.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's where the battle of, do I still do this or do I not do this anymore? And it was more than my parents. It was my friends. It was my colleagues. It was my peers. It was my own family. And now it's to the point where when I left it, I truly had to find myself as just me.
So is that where fitness comes in?
That's where fitness comes in. At the time, I want to say my last few months in the church, I went to ministry school for 2 years. My last year of ministry school, I had no job. And at the time, I wouldn't want to say pressured, but I was dating someone at the time that I was trying to impress the parents. And not have a job didn't look right. So I had to definitely step up in that realm. So I started looking for a job. I ended up getting a job at the church as a security officer, which was a great experience, but only lasted for a few months. Unfortunately, they had to lay me off. And so that ignited the ripple effect of me moving back home, because I ended up losing my job. I ended up getting my license was suspended because I couldn't afford to pay insurance. I couldn't afford to keep up with any of those things. And so cops stopped me. boom, took my license away. So I was just like, yo.
So now you got to move back home. You don't have an opportunity to finish school.
No opportunity to finish school.
Now
it's
you're
crazy.
Home at your dad's house.
Now I'm back in my dad's house again. Talk about the dynamic with my dad now, right?
I was just gonna say.
Like, but at the time before all that happened, I was looking for a job in Miami. In like LA Fitness, Orange Theory, all the small commercial gyms, no one wanted to take me. I don't know why. Like I wanted to be like the freaking janitor. Like they didn't want to take me, man. And like it was
the sanitary specialist.
Like, dude, I would freaking wipe the desk. Like, come on, hire me. No one hired me, man. And it wasn't until I went home. I want to say about maybe 3 to 4 weeks later, I saw a job post on Indeed at Orange Theory in Boca. And called them, boom. Maybe the second day I sent my resume in, or maybe just the first day. I think I called them that same day. And they just opened up maybe like less than a year. They hired me. And that's where I started my whole fitness journey. And even before that, when I was still at ministry school, I had a dream with my friend at the time. Her name is Amber, which was still very close to this day. We wanted to help low poverty kids at the time in the area, and we wanted to serve water and granola bars to the local football teams in the area. And so that dream of just helping people and helping athletes specifically, that ignited fire to maybe I can coach people, maybe I can help people in that realm. So fast forward back to Boca, being a sales associate in Orange Theory was my start to fitness.
Boom. Then you go to Hugh,
Hard Exercise Works for 3 years, which was a great experience overall.
Bro, I gotta say, when I first moved down here and I saw a gym that was called Hard Exercise Works, I was like, no shit.
Hard Exercise Works? It freaking works.
But that doesn't mean it's beneficial for you for life.
Still love you guys. You guys...
That was I obviously coming from like the sports medicine background. I was like, hard exercise works.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
You know what, man? Listen, hard exercise works have been the biggest blessing of my life. The reason why is because when I was at Orange Theory, I was trying to get certified. And bro, that crap was so hard. Like at the time I was working 2 jobs. I was working Orange Theory and I was working valet. I just had no time to study. And trying to study for that mentally just drained me. And I remember they found me through a friend. They were trying to hire a friend. Like they needed coaches with personality. And at the time, my friend was like, yo, I know someone though. He was my old roommate back in ministry school. And it all comes full circle, dude. Bro, Shane, shout out to you. And called me on the spot. He's like, yo, people were trying to land a new job. I'm gonna give them your number right now. Boom, gives them my number. They called me that same night. We linked up and we set up a meeting for us to meet. And from there, they hired me with no experience. They hired me, like literally, I just had a sports background. They taught me everything from the scratch. Ground up. Literally from the ground up. Like how to move the barbell from the ground to your shoulders to overhead. And at the time I was like still overweight. Like I wasn't physically where I wanted to be. And I was fairly overweight from high school.
Just the lack of physical activity at that point and stress and
oh my God. I think I was in the worst point physically in my life coming from church back to Boca. Like very badly. Like I remember having medical issues and I'm like, I'm 23. I shouldn't feel my heart feel this way right now. Like it just got to that point for me. And hard exercise works, put me to the point to where I had to learn how to coach people, but I had to how to step it up in my own fitness journey. And which it did. After 3 years, I got in the best shape of my life. I've literally had to teach myself about fitness on top of them teaching me their culture and everything like that. And then after 3 years, I'm like, okay, do this. I want to take it to the next level. And so, yeah.
And boom, there comes the shirt.
What? Axiom. Freaking COVID. Shout out to COVID. Shout out to COVID, man.
Because that allowed you to do it online?
Honestly, let me tell you something. This is funny. So I inquired Axiom I inquired about Axiom in January. COVID didn't hit till the end of February.
Yo, did you come into Gino in January looking for Joe about Axiom?
Yes. I feel like I remember.
Yes,
like,
I remember you walking in and PC was there.
Yeah,
And
PC was, and,
said,
and did he introduce us?
Yeah. And
Okay.
He no longer works here, and he gave you his.
Give me his
Axiom.
Yeah. That's how I was able to find
Were
Joe.
you at the Seed?
I was at the Seed. Yes. Damn, bro, you remember that?
I do remember that.
Wow.
But it just clicked. Like I didn't
put it together just now.
So you just said I inquired about it in January.
Yeah, dude.
Because then, boom, February it hits. So that must have been when you,
That's when I finally
started.
I want to say that's when I finally started. But
signed up. Yeah.
Signed up, started. I think class was starting in March or something like that.
Yeah.
But because of COVID, I was able to do it online. But even worse, and Joe's probably listening to this for the first time, I was not doing it at all. Bro, COVID hit. You think people going to sit there and try to do school? Like, I feel bad for the people that had to do online school during COVID time, because when I tried to do that, bro, with everything that was going on from a mental standpoint, I just couldn't focus. I just couldn't put myself in a state of really, truly wanted this. Even though I truly wanted this, I spent the money for it. But Joe allowed the students from March to transition over to June with the other students that were starting at the time. So that gave me a second chance at it, which honestly was my third chance, because if you guys remember, I inquired, I was trying to do NASIM certification on my own back at Orange Theory. Didn't work, and then Hard Exercise Works came, so I stopped it. And then I was like, you know what, got to do it again. And so Joe gave us a second opportunity, and I did not take that lightly. I definitely went through every process that I needed to. And then the fact that I met PC gave me full confidence in knowing, like, if I pass this, there's a 75% chance that I have a job after this. Like, there's an opportunity for me waiting. And dude, you don't even realize, like, I think a handful of people know this. Working at Orange Theory, I was across the street.
Yeah, I was just
from GNO.
Yeah.
So like
you started and now you're back in the same place,
same circle of where I started my fifth. So like starting in Orange Theory, sitting on the desk, and I can see across the train tracks, and I can see what's going on next. And I've always wondered, like, what's going on over there? Like, maybe one day I'll check it out. Maybe one day, I'll do a workout. Like, I've always thought about that, and the idea of possibly working there excited me. And honestly, it's probably been one of the best decisions that I've made in my fitness career.
So now, you got certified, then you came over to work with us. Then you started teaching classes, and then we got your personal clients, and then bam.
Now this is where I am. Just finished with the client. Now I'm here.
It's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
So it took you actually finished your NASM in September, October?
I finished, at the end of October.
Yeah. Okay.
End of October, yeah.
And it's funny because we were talking about it last night, right? So it took you 3 times to get through NASM, essentially. It took me 3 times to get my...
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
We got to watch Night School with Kevin Hart.
I don't know why I haven't watched that. Like, Kevin Hart is one of my favorite comedians.
I was thinking the same thing when you said last night. No, I haven't watched it. I'm like,
you definitely gotta watch that.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Everyone was saying like the movie was dumb or something. Like it was a low budget movie, but like, so I never got a chance to like tell myself, man, go watch it. Man.
Yeah, no. I mean, I wouldn't like go pay to watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
For free.
Exactly. See, that's it, man. Damn, dude, I can't believe I just told my whole life story just now.
You did. Bro.
I don't think I've like sat down in a place and like thought back and like actually told. I don't even like y'all.
There's a lot of
y'all shouldn't be knowing me like this.
There's a lot of power in it though, bro.
That's true.
And it's true for me too. Like hearing what people have gone through and persevered through, it's like I'm dealing with some minor bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And you're probably thinking the same thing right now. Like, damn, I went through a lot and I'm still standing, or I'm still getting better, or I'm learning more, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And for someone else out there who may be listening or watching and they are in a struggle place right now, it's true. Boom. get hit in the heart. Like, damn, it's not that bad. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's going through something. But that's what makes it cool. Like, the game that someone went up 5-0 and no one ever scored and it just stayed 5-0 the rest of the game. No one talks about the game.
Mm-hmm.
The game where someone was down 5-0, they came back and won 6-5. That shit's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what people remember.
Mm-hmm.
The stories that we, watch in movie form that are badass, someone going through hell, coming out on top and surviving, that's what we want. That's what we watch. That's what we like.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Very true. Yeah, man. There's definitely power in your story.
Facts. And everybody's got a story. Everyone's going through some shit that you don't know about.
It's all about listening.
Or you gotta time to listen twice as much as you talk. You got 2 ears, 1 mouth.
I've always been horrible at that. Like, obviously, I'm a very talkative person. Like, I can talk forever. Like, right now, like, I'm still rambling on. And as he's like, what the hell? Let me drink some water. He's going to continue on right now. You know what I'm saying? But the biggest lesson that I've learned is definitely to listen. Right, exactly. Listening, man.
And that includes to yourself, right?
What do you mean listening to myself? What does that mean, Dylan?
All right, so let me ask. I want everyone to do this, actually. This is a crazy activity that I learned. It was through a YouTube video. Haley would know the YouTube video, but I can't find it. I saved it a couple years ago. When I first moved here, I had stumbled across it. It was like an 8-minute video. And he is standing on a stage and he says, all right, I want everyone to do this activity. I want you to say the word rock star out loud. 3, 2, 1. Rock star. Boom. Now I want you to say the word rock star inside your head. 3, 2, 1. Okay. If I didn't verbalize through sound waves the word rock star, but I, whoever that is, heard myself say rock star in my head, then who is listening and who is talking in my head? Someone said it and someone else heard it all inside of my mouth and inside of my head, but you didn't. And you said it to yourself inside of your head, and you heard yourself say it to yourself inside of your head, but I didn't hear you. So who is saying and who is listening inside of our head? Who is actually talking? Is there actual minor vibrations going on inside of our head that are sound waves on a microscopic level so small that we don't even know? Like, crazy to think about.
You wouldn't say like it's you talking to yourself?
Yes, but why can one person talk and one person listen? Because if I'm talking, I'm not listening to myself. I'm just talking. I'm talking out loud to you. If you're talking to me, you can't listen to me at the same time. There's so if in my head I essentially have 2 different things. One is talking and one is listening. Then what are those things? What is inside of our head? If it's not the physical and mental, when people say like, oh, it's your brain, well, your brain is a physical thing.
Right.
Okay, so then it's what? Is it your soul?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, do you think it's a spirit?
It's your spirit. It's your soul. But is your spirit just the energy waves running through your head? Is it some sort of, like, bro, this 7-minute video changed my life.
I need to see this video. If you can find it, I would definitely like to watch that.
I'll try to find it. Yeah. I'll try to put it in the show notes, too. But it's a crazy concept to think about. Who said Rockstar? Well, never mind who said it, who heard it. Because your ears physically did not hear you say Rockstar. And your mouth and tongue did not physically say Rockstar.
See, bro, this is why I feel like you would love the show Black Mirror, but you're not giving it a chance.
We watched it once. I don't know who's watched it.
I kid you not. This reminds me of an episode.
So maybe we'll watch this episode. Not that weird dark shit that we watched before.
They're all dark. If you watch Black Mirror, is there a comment section for them to like?
They can
like comment stuff. Let me know if you're a Black Mirror fan. Let's convince Dylan that he needs to watch more than one episode. I think it was a bad one.
It wasn't great.
It wasn't great. There's been plenty of good ones, but no, I never thought of it like that. I don't even know what to say because I'm like, you're right. Like who is listening and who is talking?
And that's why it's important to listen, because there's something else inside that is constantly going. There's something else, like AJ actually, he has said, stillness is an illusion. Like, right, there's always something moving. There's always energy flowing. There's no standstill, right? So when you actually stop physically moving, there's still something inside
that's going.
You're still digesting food. You're still turning over new cells. You're still doing all those things. And as a result, you're still thinking. And being able to think and understand in those moments is like listening to what's actually inside your head, because you are the only one who has access to that. I can't go inside your head and try to get your thoughts out. And you can't, even if you wanted to spill every thought you've ever had out, you couldn't do it. It's not possible. We have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. How many of those are you in tune with? How much of that is on autopilot?
That's some real stuff right there, bro. I'm not gonna lie about that.
60 to 80,000 thoughts
a day.
That's
a lot of freaking thoughts.
That's a lot.
You can drive yourself crazy with that.
But you can also learn a lot. Because some of them are subconscious. So now thinking some subconscious thought, but consciously having a different opinion on it and saying, wow, that was rude. Like, why did I think that about that person subconsciously? If you're quiet enough to think about it. And consciously, you don't try to make that happen, but subconsciously, it was ingrained in you from a parent, from a grandparent, from a coworker.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you start to unveil, like, oh, all these subconscious thoughts that, like, I didn't even know were there. They're dictating a lot of what I do. Because if I have 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day, and I'm only consciously going through 1,000 of them, which even if you thought about that right there, like 1,000 thoughts per day, seems like a lot in an 18-hour waking day. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So then you start to think like, damn, there's a lot of things that I'm doing as a result of these subconscious thoughts that I didn't even know I had, because I never took the time to listen to them, because I was never silent enough to hear them.
You know what? It's funny you even bring that up, because I feel like that's something that lately I've been trying to understand, even for myself. Like, even looking back in my past actions, like why did I put so much stress on myself about the career choices that I wanted to make? Why did I put so much pressure on myself about, oh man, like I have to do this because I want to impress my parents, or I want to impress my friends, or I want to, like, I started noticing my actions weren't actions that I truly wanted to take. It was actions that I felt that because of the years of just hearing, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this, and what society has told me, what even from what I saw other people tell other people, like, I have to do this. This is the path that is right for me. And subconsciously, when it came to even making my own decisions, I didn't really know what was the right decision for me, because I didn't really know me, and I didn't know what I want. So a lot of people's voices I just kept getting it mixed up as my own voice, as my thoughts, as...
So let me ask you this, because this just popped in my head. Sorry to cut you off. Have you ever had a thought and it wasn't in your voice. You didn't hear it in your voice. You heard it in someone else's voice. Have you ever heard someone imitate somebody and all of a sudden you're like, yo, I could hear, like, I could hear them saying this in that voice.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So now think about how much of a subconscious interjection that is, that you, without speaking, without hearing something physically, thought of something else's voice in your head. Think about how deep that goes into a subconscious like perspective that you have on the world because someone else in your life has drilled that so many times.
You ever hear this saying, show me your friends and I'll show you your future? I feel like it's a perfect like quote for that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, who are the voices that are in your head constantly every single day, right? Because the voices that you hear constantly, the things that you see, the things that you listen to can truly dictate the path that you take.
You know what I think I've come to realize is that, like, as social creatures, we're always going to want to impress a little bit. And not necessarily like, like,
look at
I'm
me,
a badass,
yeah,
but fit into a point like, I want Alfredo to think this is a cool thing that I'm doing. Like, he would resonate with this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think it's not about making sure that you're not asking yourself who would resonate with, or it's not about making sure that you don't care if anybody resonates with it. It's about making sure that you have a select group of people that you are almost trying to have things resonate with, because they are on a certain level, they are doing certain things, they are cool people that you look up to, they have certain characteristics and traits that are going to put you in a good position and help you get to where you want to be. And that is the difference of, like you said, show me your friends. Because if you're subconsciously thinking, oh, I hope blah, blah, blah thinks this is cool, and that dude's an asshole and he's going nowhere and he's got nothing.
Right.
Yeah, he may think it's cool, but that means you're doing things in your life that are dictated by what he would think is cool. And if he's not heading the right direction, you're just following that direction.
Exactly.
So I think that's very true. It's understanding who you aspire to be like, who you are closely connected to and have common themes with, and making sure that what is driven in your life is driven by good people, good souls, good energy around you.
Yeah.
And I heard Matt McConaughey talk about, he was asked who is his hero, and he said, my hero is me in 10 years. And 10 years later, the dude came back and said, so are you your hero? And he goes, no, my hero is me in 10 years. He goes, my hero is constantly evolving and changing. And that gives me something to shoot for. And I get closer, but he gets further away. I get closer, he gets further away.
Yeah,
because as I get closer, I realize I'm capable of more. And not necessarily like lit. Do more, do bigger, do better.
Yeah.
But understand more.
Right.
Empathize more. Be more grateful. Love more. Give more. Right? Like, those things are different than like making a bigger company and I want to buy and sell the world. No. But about understanding like what you can internally be capable of.
Truly being the best version of yourself.
Sure.
Every single day. Which
is always increasing. Always improving. That's the limitless concept.
Hey.
Shameless plug. It's the understanding that, like, the droplet of water that this conversation has on the rest of our night.
Yeah.
Simply.
Yeah.
And that changes how we maybe wake up tomorrow, or how we interact with whoever we talk to after this conversation.
That's true.
Or it changes someone's drive to work when they listen, and all of a sudden they walk into work just like a little bit different than how they were feeling before they got to work. And that's the ripple effect. Always constantly going out. Crazy.
Damn, I can't believe I did this, bro.
You have any questions for me?
Questions for you? What is your favorite pizza?
Favorite pizza? I haven't had pizza in years.
This is like a random question.
Person
that popped in my subconscious.
Favorite pizza? I mean, I used to love me some pepperoni pizza, man. So there's a couple of like, if I were to go have pizza, like I would go to a couple places back in Rhode Island.
Just tell me it's no pineapples on this pizza. That's really why I asked this question.
I mean, Hawaiian pizza is good, but like I'm a veggie sucker. Like I want my mom and my dad, when they would get pizza, there was always like anchovies and olives and spinach and peppers and like all these different things.
Oh God,
the everything kind of
the everything.
So
good Lord,
I hated it when I was younger, but I would definitely do that now.
You would definitely do. Oh yeah, I think that's definitely you.
Mm-hmm. I remember I went to this place up in right on Commercial, and I was like, "Can you guys make me a pizza without the cheese? Just add a bunch of vegetables on top." They were like, "So you want dough, red sauce, and vegetables?" And I was like, "Yep." And they're like, "Okay."
How did it work? It
was great. Yeah, I mean, like obviously all the vegetables just slid off the dough.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
I started to bite it.
Stay on. Like,
nah, the whole sticky thing doesn't work, but it was still delicious. It was basically just bread, red sauce, and so we have party pizza in Rhode Island, and it's just sauce and bread, and it's cold.
How is that a party pizza?
Because it comes in little slivers. And like rectangles, and so you can buy like a big box of it, and we call it party pizza.
I'm just simple. Like pepperoni is just like the go-to every time.
Any other questions?
Damn, bro, I didn't come prepared with any questions.
You
came prepared with questions. I always like to ask people questions.
My questions are straight off the top.
I don't even know how you do that, man.
I listen and
Where do you feel like you're gonna be in 2 months? If you have to think, like 2 months now, like we're in June.
I'm gonna talk more emotional then. I think I'll still be in the same physical place.
Well, physical, yeah. Physical, yeah.
No, I mean like emotionally, mentally.
Where do you see yourself?
I've been climbing a ladder, so I think I was telling you this probably last week. There was a big rut, like just from where I was when I first moved here, when I started GNO.
This was just last weekend.
Yeah, we were talking about it. Yeah. So that presence of like, what is driving me? Why am I doing it? That has started to show its light again.
Okay.
Where I lost that for a little bit, and that light getting brighter is driving me to be more creative, more outgoing in a sense of like I want to continue to just absorb. I want to be out. I want to do new things.
Explore.
Yeah. Where I was wanting to do that, but I wasn't taking action on it. Yeah. So in 2 months,
a topic right there.
Yeah, in 2 months, I'm just going to be back into a whole nother level of consistency and growth, and gratitude for sure is leading the way on that. Yeah. You know what we need to do is we need to get you a shirt.
A Limitless shirt?
Limitless Theory shirt.
I officially made it. I've always wondered. I was like, damn, man, that's cool. Like these people be like, you're doing podcasts and stuff. Like I always wonder, like, damn, like how would I be if I was to do a podcast? Like would I just stutter the whole time? Like would I like honestly
talk to people for a living, bro?
I know, but I mean, coming from Canada, you know, having a Haitian background, like English is not like my strongest suit, even though I've been here for a long time. I still struggle with grammar, and it's so when it comes to public speaking, like that's where I messed up. But I love talking to people. I love inspiring people. Oh, that's where it came. Okay, last question before we wrap up for anybody watching, and for any specific person that's watching that probably is struggling to just find themselves. Like we kind of talked about, like I didn't really know where I was at a certain point in my life. Like I didn't know how to get out of that, and somehow I did, and thank God for it. But if you were to tell the person who's that's watching right now that is just trying to understand what to do next, what would be the smallest first step you would tell them to do to just get through the next day? That makes sense.
I think one thing that drives me, and you probably have heard me say this a million times when people ask, like, how are you doing? Could be better, could be worse. I always say level heads prevail. It was something I learned in basketball from college basketball coach. Level heads prevail. It could be better, it could be worse. So sitting down in your immediate life and saying or writing down 5 things that could be much better, and then inversely writing those 5 things and how they could presently be worse. Like, I don't like where I'm living, right? Like that could be like, it could be better. I could be living in a condo on, South Beach. Well, I could be living in a tent 3 blocks over in Wynwood. I could have $300,000 in the bank. I could have negative $300 in my bank statement. I think that provides a lot of perspective. Yeah. And then that allows you to say, well, I'm going in either direction, either way. Right. Like there is no stillness, right? Stillness is an illusion. So if I have $12 in the bank, I am just as close to 3,000 as I am to negative 300 because it's one step at a time. So it doesn't matter what it is, but I think level heads prevail, and the understanding that it could be better, it could be worse is very helpful for waking up and saying, okay, well, I might as well take this small little action to make it better. Does that make sense?
Damn. That was the top of the dome question. I like that answer. That was dope, man.
It came to mind at the right time. That's it.
Damn. This is cool. This is awesome, man.
We're going to do it again, so y'all better watch out.
Ooh. There might be wine next time.
Wind down.
This is water. Next time will be wine.
Yeah, we might both have like a mug next time.
Yeah. Y'all not going to know what's in the cup.
Y'all can go buy these.
Hey, get that. Put the link and everything. So
y'all need pillows.
See, bro, you talking about work ethic? Like this guy is decked out in his brand, which I love. Like 100% love, man. I admire that for sure. 100%.
Duffel bag, backpacks, shirts,
pillows, sheets,
everything. I got phone cases.
Like
everything. But much love, bro. This was fun as hell. Dope, man. Computer's about to die, so we're about to
save
peace
this
out. Yes. As always, we are, life is limitless. Peace.